Oh, I made my way to my favorite example. You don't have to raise your hand, but if you can, if you raise it, I'll feel good about myself. How many people know Ayetel Kursi? Ayetel Kursi. The last example of the evening I want to share with you is Ayetel Kursi. Okay, we're going to recite it together. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض وهو العلي العظيم. Ayetul Kursi is made up of 9 sentences. Ayetul Kursi has 9 sentences. I'll walk you through them. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, number 1. La ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm, number 2. Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard, number 3. What's number 4? Man dha alladhi yashfa'u 'indahu illa bi idhnihi, that's number 4. يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم, number 5. Then وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ, number 6. Then وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, number 7. وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا, number 8. وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ, number 9. 9 sentences. The first sentence is Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. It's a beautiful sentence which ends with 2 of Allah's names. What are those 2 names? Al-Hayy, Al-Qayyum, the living and the source of all establishment. Everything stands and exists and is maintained because of Allah. What's incredible is that the last sentence, sentence number 1, has something in common with sentence number 9, which is وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. How many names of Allah in the last sentence? 2 names of Allah in the first sentence, 2 names of Allah in the last sentence. Okay. What's the second sentence? Before I go to the second sentence, let me tell you something about security. Security guards have a very hard job. You see those British guys that wear the funny hats at the towers? That can't smirk? That's a hard job. And one of the best jobs for college students. But if you get a if you're in security, you have to sit in your booth. You have to stare at the CCTV for hours and hours. And does it move? It's the same picture. And you have to look at it for 12 hours, 8 hours. It's the most exciting thing you've ever done in your life. What tends to happen when you're guarding something? You tend to get sleepy. You tend to get tired. When you're guarding something, you tend to, so you'll see, of course you don't watch movies because you're very religious, but but in movies, they have these things called movies, and then sometimes they have an action movie, and the guy is trying to get inside a place, but it has a security guard, but the security guard is, so he grabs him, and he gets inside, because the security guard is getting sleepy. You understand? Okay. Allah Azza wa Jal says about Himself, لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Drowsiness happens when you're tired. Your eyes start kind of closing a little bit. You're not sleeping, but you're kind of half sleeping like that guy over there. I'm kidding. But you're half sleeping. That's sina. And of course, what happens after that? What's the next step? No. First comes sina. Sina is like, when you go to Jumu'ah, and the khatib says, Inna alhamdulillah, alladhi nahmaduhu, like that's sina. Okay? By the time he gets to Ayyuha al-ikhwatul kiram, that's known. Okay? That's known. Okay, so you know the difference between sina and known. Drowsiness and then sleep. Okay. This is the second sentence. The second sentence is, these are things that creation has. Creation gets tired and it starts getting drowsy and eventually it falls to sleep. Or sometimes you tell yourself, no, I'm just closing my eyes, but I'm not sleeping. Okay, let me just close my eyes for a second. You're gone. You're finished. Okay? It's the best. This is the second sentence about sleep, about exhaustion and sleep. Drowsiness and sleep. What was the second last sentence? وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. Guarding the skies and the earth does not exhaust Allah. When someone's exhausted, what do they get? Sina and Naum. The second sentence is actually connected to the second last sentence. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم ولا يؤوده حفظهما. He says له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. He owns whatever is in the sky and the earth. Now before I tell you further, you need to understand the difference between two words, two names of Allah, Malik and Malik. Two names of Allah, Malik and Malik. I hope I can explain this difference to you because it'll make you appreciate these ayat like nothing else. Malik is an owner. Malik is an owner. Malik, I already told you today, what is Malik? King. Is there a difference between a king and an owner? Yes. You are the owner of your pen, but you do not say, I am the royal sovereign of this ink pen. You don't do that. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You understand? Owners can be of small things. You can own a car, you can own a computer, you can own a phone, but you're not going to be the king of it. Kingdom is used for big things. Here's another problem. Ownership is about property. It's about property. But kingdom is not about, you're not the king over a tree or the king over a piece of land. You're the king over the people who live in that land. Kingdom is about controlling people. Ownership is about controlling objects. There's a difference. Now Allah says, لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. He owns whatever is in the skies and the earth. What is the ayah about? Ownership. The ayah is about ownership. And ownership, one thing about ownership, it's micro. So every single thing is owned by Allah. Okay. What's the third last sentence? Anyone remember? وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. His throne extends to the skies and the earth. When Allah talks about His throne, He's talking about His kingdom. One dimension of control is ownership. The other dimension is kingdom. Both completing the picture. Because if you're just an owner, you're not a king. And if you're just a king, you're not an... Oh, and by the way, let me tell you the difference also. Nowadays in some countries we have kings. You can be the king of an island. But does that mean you own everything in that island? No. Allah is the owner of all things and the king of all things. Both of them are necessary. Just because you own, and by the way, it could be that somebody owns all the property but they're not the king. Is that possible? They own the property but the king is someone else. So they have property ownership but somebody else has authority. Or somebody has authority and no property ownership. But Allah is Malik and He is Malik. The Malik part of Allah's attribute, لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Third sentence. The kingdom of Allah, وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Okay. What's the fourth sentence? Let's go back. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. La ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm. Lahu ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ard. What's next? Man dhal ladhi yashfa'u 'indahu illa bi idhnihi. Let's understand this ayah first. Who will come and make shafa'ah with Allah except unless He gives permission? And Allah says nobody will come for you. Your uncle, your cousin, your dad, your mom, your boss. You're not going to come for you on judgment day and say, Ya Allah, actually he's not going to happen on that day. We're good. Nowadays you can do that. They're with me, VIP pass, so you can go inside. No, not over there. There's no VIP ticket. Except, the only exception is if Allah gives permission. So this ayah is about nobody having any authority unless Allah gives it to them. Nobody will have any authority, and the only exception, and the word exception is important, the exception is if Allah gives it Two then. You clear about that?
Yes.
Okay. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ. They know nothing. They can control. They encircle nothing of His knowledge. إِلَّا, except بِمَا شَاءَ. The fourth sentence and the sixth sentence are both about a statement about Allah and the only exception. The statement was, nobody has authority to make a case except whoever Allah gives permission. They have no knowledge except whoever He wants to give knowledge to. Otherwise they know nothing. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. The fourth and the sixth sentence are correlated. The first and the ninth, the second and the eighth, the third and the seventh, the fourth and the sixth. What's left? Middle sentence?
Yes.
He says, يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُمْ. Oh my God, He says He knows what is ahead of them and what is behind them. And He knew what is coming ahead in the ayah and what was behind in the ayah. He put in the middle of it is, I know what's ahead and I know what's behind. Who speaks like that? Who speaks like that? SubhanAllah. The way in which Allah talks, the way in which Allah delivered this speech. And I want you to be cognizant of a fact. The fact is, we now read the Quran as a book. We read it as a text. We say sentence number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did the Sahaba do that? Did the Rasul himself, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, says, look at sentence number 1 and sentence number 9 and 2 and 8 and 3 and 7? No, because he was just what? Speaking. He was speaking the Quran. We are able to see these things when they're put in writing. The Quran was so perfect when it was being given in speech. And which has more possibility of mistake? When you write something or when you say something? Oh man, when you say something, it's hard to take it back. Especially if it's on YouTube. That's hard. But if you're writing a nasty email, then you can, before you hit send, erase that and just say Eid Mubarak and then send it. You have a chance to take it back. But when you're saying something, it's done. There's no room to edit. There's no room to fix. Allah Azza wa Jal revealed this Quran not in writing. He revealed it in speech. He revealed it in speech. You know, I've sat with linguists, non-Muslim linguists, and I've shared some of these things with them, and they refuse to believe that the Quran is spoken. They refuse to believe it. They say it has to be written.